How's everybody doing today? It is March 28th of 2021 and this is UT. Just wanted to do a video rundown of all the stuff that we kind of have growing. We use these videos as like the only plan that we kind of have. We're trying to figure out like when we planted things, what things looked like. Our last video for the closing winter video, we were mentioning giving out tons and tons of plants, and I think we gave out this last weekend, the first and second day of spring, we probably gave out around, I don't know, 60-70 plants. So everything looked a ton different, but over the past week what we've been doing is transplanting up tomatoes, transplanting up peppers, selectively trimming, things like that. So gearing up. March for us is really about kind of getting the systems up and running and consistent so that we can try to take care of things all at one time and grow as many unique things as we possibly can with the time that we have left. As April comes up here, what we are doing is did I say March 28th or May 28th, but it's March 28th. But April for us is a hardening off process. As you can see, our snow melts back. We'll get a couple inches. It'll freeze, stay on us for several days. It looks warm out here, and this is a pretty decent day today, but we are getting super cold temperatures. So I just want to do a rundown. I'm going to take and go through the entire grow areas of the house and just try to name some of the plants we have and maybe spill out any relevant information that comes from our personal experience and put it on our vlog. So love you guys. Catch you in a second. Thanks for watching. Alright, so here's the grow shelves we have in our living room. This is just a bin. I think they run about $8 for these bins. It's a big plastic bin, clear plastic bin. We have 3 shoe boxes. We like doing these 6-pack things. These are all peppers. I think these are Shishido, Oda, Sugar Rush. These are the newer sprouts. They only go underneath the single light, which is a double bulb LED shop light. I think they run about $25 at the Home Depot for these kind of shop lights. Let me see here. That's what they are. And they don't work too bad. If you really want to hitting it with some good light though, we, on the actual shelf here, we have doubled them, and we move these bins in and out to water them, and these got to actually all be watered. We'll water them with Epsom salt water. This time we do that about every other weekend or every weekend sometimes. It's just about 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt water into a gallon, and then we use that like we would water normally. Here's the tomatoes from our first tomato tray, the Beauty and the Beast tray that we planted up. Some of them are coming out. You'll see those in just a second here. These are oil pans at the dollar store, and they work good for bottom watering if you have those 5-gallon buckets if you're growing outdoors. So we got a couple of those. A couple extra trays that'll probably have some squash and stuff in it. These come from the dollar store too. I thought these were pretty cool. They're like dish towel things, but they're like padded, so you would put your like wet dishes on them. You would put them on your counter to make sure that they absorb water and stuff like that. So they work really good. Just the size of them fits on these shelves really well too if you're trying to kind of flatten out everything. But tomatoes needing transplanted really soon. We started heavy on that this weekend, but you can see too, like topping some of these. Let me see if I can get in here really well. We're big fans of topping. You can see the new growth coming out of all those areas, and that's one of the ones that was actually recently done, so that's already new growth starting. We're trying to take the flowers and everything's off. Jimmy Nardello, lemon spice jalapeno back here, Jedi jalapeno, some of the carrot cross are in here. I think another Oda or 2. Those are lemon drop. Those are coming in really stunted small. I'm not quite sure what's going on with those yet. The Cobra. Tons of peppers, so we plant them in our little greenhouse here. Everything on here is LED too, so it doesn't take a huge amount of electricity. With a total of 7 lights, a double one for this one for the new sprouts to kind of get their legs a little bit. You don't want to hit them with too much light or heat when you transplant, and then they go into this system here, and then we also take them every weekend to the farm market, friends, family, and give out the majority of the ones that we plant, and then we keep one or two for ourselves. But I would say that this entire shelving system right here would run somebody about $200 to set up, though. About $25 per light. That's 50. That's 100. These were actually gift lights. I'm not quite sure on the price of those, but then another 50 for the shelf. So you're looking at 150 for the 4 lights and the shelf by itself. We don't like to promote buying gardening stuff. We would rather that people could find unique ways. These are like solo cups. Maybe you're at a family reunion and everybody's throwing these away, or a kid's birthday party or a picnic or some sort. Collect those cups because you can use them and use them and use them, and super cheap. See, we're big fans of the cup situation going on. We'll just get one of those 6-packs and clip the bottoms of these. Sometimes we'll put a muffin paper into the bottom of them, sometimes a paper towel to help with displacement. We try to keep everything as clean and as efficient as possible. We are in a super tiny apartment. If I'm ever talking about us being poor or us being limited space or limited resources, I want everybody to know it's not a complaint. We view it over here as a strength of ours. Like I've spotted containers out by the dumpster before, and I went out by the dumpster, and I have no shame. So I will take those containers. I've had friends, family, everything bring over excess and stuff, and I'll put some dirt in it and I'll try to grow a plant out of it. My goal this year is mostly to see as many unique things as I can. So we get really excited on seeing plant profile videos and seeing each person's personal experience. Even if you're growing the jalapeno or you're growing a regular red tomato of some sort, we're really interested in seeing what that variety is, and some of the reasons that you like to grow it, or some of the reasons that you didn't like growing it this year, and just sharing all the unique situations with each other. This is the greenhouse here. We have some, I think, Ponderosa lemons that we got from Geeky Gardens in here, and then a couple types of peppers that we were having slow germination going on. We were worried about the seeds maybe weren't that good, but we've been baggy germinating a lot of them, and it's been working out really well. So that's sweet potatoes that we're growing in the cupboard, white sweet potatoes, and then the regular orange. And Angel popped all the eyes off and put them in there, and we have some in the bathroom too. I'll show you guys. This side's the Buena Mulata. This side's the Dulce Sol. There's our dwarf tomatoes that we'll need to be transplanting pretty soon too, with heat mat. This is another tomato tray, and I planted this one just for fun. It's got the Black from Tula, the Great White, the Aunt Ruby Green, the Hillbilly Flame, the Berries Crazy, which we only had 1 seed sprout out of 9, and then the Mushroom Basket. And on the Berries Crazy, this was a packet that we didn't share out with anybody. It was like 3 or 4 years old is all, I believe, from Baker's Creek, and I'm not sure why they're not sprouting. It might be our issue, but I found it really bizarre that only 1 went. These ones weren't going either, the Black from Tula that came from another seed source, and they just took longer to go. Once they started going, they're all starting to go now. And there's our peppers. We are on a code red situation for the peppers right now. We are going to completely stop planting peppers for the most part, I believe, at the very end of this month. So in a few days, we will stop planting the peppers and stick to just the tomatoes, and see how many unique peppers and tomatoes we can get in our yard. So Mary Carey Cross is one that we put, yellow Scotch bonnet, purple jalapeno. Those are some of the new ones. There's the Datil and Habanada. But these grow lights are like $45, and I wouldn't recommend necessarily getting them. They do get good light. They're LED, so they don't run a lot of electricity or cost a lot of money to run. But the heat mats, though, it's insane, the difference. So you got the temperature right here. It shows it at 75, and that's where we have it set, so it's not heating on this bottom part right here. Even when we put it at 80, we would go to bed at night, turn the heater off, the night cold would kind of creep into the downstairs living room here, and we would get up in the morning and it would say 61. It would be heating, but it would only be at 61 degrees. And I'm thinking to myself, even without the heater, if the heater wasn't on, how low was that temperature actually going? So I believe that was our biggest problem with the peppers. At nighttime they were dropping to a lower temperature than we expected, but we plant the seeds, put them in here on the heat mats with no light. We'll shut the lights off if they're not sprouted. And once they get growing good, we cup them up and then move them into this system here on the shelving system, or we will, this is the transplant, that's potting soil and seed starting soil. Move them into here. Those are some rogues. That's a Hoya. It's like going to be like a little tree thing. Some sweet potatoes, some manzano peppers. And this is our starting transplanting of tomatoes into the cup method. That's a couple mini bell micro tomatoes. Those are Tiny Tims. Some Kiddos mixed carrots. That's some Kourbaki that we are recovering. We got rid of all the ginger except for the one that wasn't clipped. And that one is trying to get to the ceiling right there, so we'll let that one go up. If it ever gets to the ceiling before it's time to move it outside, then we will go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I think we'll clip it when we do move it out. We clipped the other ones down when they were getting too tall, when they had another sprout. And if you're going to clip one that's getting too big, I would suggest that the sprout that's coming up, the next one that's coming up that makes it so you have time to clip that one, try to make sure it has a few leaves. Because if it don't have a couple leaves on that, even with the couple leaves left on the one where you clipped, it tends to start trying to drain all of its liquid out through the stem. But the ones that had a couple leaves on it, when they were clipped, it didn't seem to struggle at all to recover. It just seemed to like just continue going like nothing was wrong. So maybe when the next ginger sprout comes up, if you're trying to clip them down to save yourself some space, to kind of make sure that it has a couple leaves like that one. Lemon trees. This is the basil. I think 3 plants, or well, there's about 15 plants in there. That's the baby corn sprouts. There's 3 of them in that. And that is excess pepper. We've been calling it pepper mulch, pepper seed mulch. It's seeds that didn't go for some reason in our pepper system, so we just pull them out and put them in here. And we'll probably let it dry, and then we'll just take it and kind of spread the soil out and water it down and see if random peppers go. So whatever grows in that one will be mystery peppers, but lots of things growing in here. Okay, and then one last room, I'll show you guys the upstairs bathroom, which is kind of like the plant retirement home. Catch you guys in a second. It's Cherokee Purple, Black Creme, Kellogg's Breakfast. These ones here, Black Brandywine. This one's not potato leafed, so it's not a Black Brandywine. But it came from Black Brandywine seeds, is most likely a cross of some sort, and then the Cherokee Green back there. Yeah. Catch you in a second. Alright, so there is the monster Dieffenbachia. We have been trimming it out. There's several more plants that we can trim out and put into a littler vase right there. But we had a bigger vase with a couple bigger ones in it that were starting to root, that we actually gave those ones away, I think, to a family member. But I'm really wanting to see one of these plants flower. We've had it for 5-6 years. It's our oldest plant that we have in the house. Our cats have destroyed this plant. Like, I never would have thought it would have survived. And it thrives. If you don't water it, it thrives. So you gotta make sure you keep it watered or it's going to freak out. Really like pretty leaves and stuff on it. Angel's growing some endives and some chamomile. This is going to be for the ponderosa lemon once they go in the one thing. This is her testing some Malabar spinach seeds that we saved last year, and that one's going right there. Well, this video I was hoping to get about 10 minutes and it's looking about 15. There's the spider plant. So a couple house plants that don't mind a little bit of stress and a little bit of lower light. These are kind of not necessarily cooler weather crops or plants, but they are ones that as far as seed starting, you don't need to worry about the heat mats and stuff. The tomatoes and the peppers are the major thing we like starting with seeds and growing in our yard. But we like growing as many different varieties of vegetables as we can. But it's UT Angel and Kiddo. And just wanted to do a quick show and tell video of all the stuff we have growing. And tell you guys we love you. We're super excited. We're super motivated and pushing forward. So tons of things growing. If anybody has any questions or any info to share, go ahead and share down in the comment section. We love hearing from everybody. We love talking to you guys. We consider you guys honorary family and ready to kick the smoke off this year. So love you guys. It is March 28th of 2021.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.